Mother's Day can be a painful time for people. Everyone's talking about how sweet their mothers are. You go look for a card. There are not cards out there that say, you're kind of like a meh mom, but it's Mother's Day, so I'm supposed to acknowledge it. So here's your card. Thank you for feeding me, clothing me, and putting a roof over my head, but that's about all I can say to you. Hallmark is not making money on cards like that. But truth be told, there are plenty of people who that's about all they can say.
So, you're here to tell me all the ways that I failed you as a mother.
Yeah. And get comfortable, because it's a long list.
This painful time brings people back to the narrative of their life and how it was not the one that they wish that they had had. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what I do with my clients when they are in this situation. Granted, I get clients in this situation all the time, not just in May when it's Mother's Day, but I thought this would be a really appropriate time to talk about it. A lot of my clients will come in here and they're like, how do I get my mom to be blank, right? Whether it's more loving, more interested in my life, more compassionate, or even to be a better grandmother, right? Be interested in my kids' lives. These are not the questions you want to ask unless, rule number one, your mother or grandmother has said, how can I be more involved? How can I be a better mom to you? Most aren't asking that. If they're not, it is not your job to design a plan for them or to decide that this is going to be a goal for them. This is where most of my clients, they start spinning their wheels and they get very frustrated because they're like, I told her this is what I wanted from her. If she didn't say, I received that and I want to do that, it doesn't matter how many times you tell your mother how you need her to be. If she's not invested in changing, just save your breath. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't say at some point in time, you know what, Mom, I would like our relationship to be better. Is that something that you would want? Just put it out there and see. Your mother may get defensive, or she may say, oh, I didn't know that I wasn't meeting your needs. How can I do that better? Some of you are laughing as you hear me say that because you're like, yeah, my mother would never say that. And if you're listening this far, you probably have a mother that is not going to say that. So we need to talk about, what do you do when your desire and your reality do not match up? I always say to my clients, I want you to start to accept the fact that this is the mom that you have. End of discussion. We are not going to try to change her anymore if she's not invested in being a different mother to you. We are not going to try to have these long conversations and share how we feel, hoping that it's going to change how they treat us unless they've indicated they want that. So the first step is accepting this is the mother that I have. Now what I want you to do is look back realistically over your life and your relationship with your mom and start seeing them for who they are. They are actually quite predictable. I would say that all the times that you've been let down, if you were to look back over time, you would find that every time you expected a reaction that was your desired reaction and they didn't give it to you, their response was the same over and over and over and over again. They've been consistent in who they are. You have just not expected them to show up as the person they've shown you they are. And this is a concept not just with mothers, but in all relationships. We cannot expect people to be or show up the way that we want them to just because we don't like the way that they show up. If you want to know what a person's going to do, look at what they've done, and that's what you should anticipate they're going to do. As awful and as hopeless as it sounds, it's actually the most protective thing you can do. So think about this and try this. Next time that you, let's say, have some really great news and you want to tell your mom about it because you want them to be proud of you, you want them to be excited, you want them to be interested in your life, I want you to think about how she has reacted most times you've ever done that. You're probably going to find that you can have multiple examples of times that you wanted them to be excited or her to be excited and you were disappointed. Look at what her behavior is. And next time, this is what you're going to think. I had this really great news and I want to tell my mom about it. Am I being realistic in how I think she's going to react? Try
is it that when your only daughter tells you that she is getting married, you can't muster up even a little enthusiasm, even a little fake enthusiasm? Why don't you pretend that you care? I mean, this is the biggest thing to happen to me possibly for the rest of my life. And you dismissed it. Like I said, hey, I'm thinking of getting a Honda. What do you think?
You're obviously hysterical.
Why don't you care? Why have you never cared?
You have two choices. If you still want to tell your mom, because it's important for you to tell her, and she might want to know, she just might not be a super excitable type, or maybe she's just mildly interested but still would like to know, and you want to keep relationship, you're going to tell her, but you're going to not expect her to be somebody she hasn't shown you to be. If she's always giving you kind of a mild answer, like, oh, that's great, honey, that's what you're going to expect. You see, when you do that, you save yourself so much disappointment and so much grief. Now, it doesn't feel great, but it doesn't hurt you as badly because you anticipated how they were going to be. So it doesn't take as much of an emotional hit. I tell my clients, like, it doesn't cost you as much emotional energy because you have to repair and take care of yourself after and work yourself through the disappointment. You just know it's going to happen, and it happens. Now, the other option you would have is this. You just don't go to them for the excitement, for the encouragement, for the validation, for the cheerleading anymore. So when you have that great piece of news that you want to share, your go-to are the people in your life that respond the way that you want them to. Now, this can be hard sometimes because you're like, but I want it to be my mom. It should be my mom. Yes, you're allowed to feel that way. But the reality is, it can't be because she doesn't have capacity to be that person for you. So you start to choose differently. When you feel that desire and that urge to go and repeat poor behavior and get a poor response, you pivot and you say, okay, I'm going to go to this person in my life because they always are excited for me. And it's okay because now that you've had someone celebrate you in the way that you need, you can handle your mom's response in that situation. Or you could just say, I got what I needed elsewhere. I don't need to go to my mom anymore. If it comes up organically, I'll tell her about it, but otherwise, I'm not going to share that big piece of information with her. And granted here, I'm using the same example of having some important news, but this can be other things like going to your mom for comfort when she's never been a comforter, going to your mom for advice when she's been terrible at giving you advice at all about anything. If they have not shown they're capable of that, we're not doing that anymore. And then the third thing I'm going to have you do is this. You're going to grieve the loss of what you don't have. This is the part that helps with resentment and helps get your nervous system to respond in a calmer manner when you do engage with your mom and she can't give you what it is that you so badly wish she could. This is an exercise I give people. I borrowed it from other people that do similar work, and it's basically using this format. You start journaling or walking, and you answer these prompts as you do it. I am so mad that, fill in the blank. I'm so sad that, fill in the blank. I wish that, fill in the blank. You're going to go through those three prompts, and you're going to spend some time allowing yourself to express that and communicate it in a way that feels comfortable for you. And then you're just going to sit with that. And you might cry, you might scream, you might just sit there and feel very down. But I want you to give yourself space and permission to feel all the feels that come with the grieving of you not having the mom that you wish that you could have. Then when you engage with your mom, when she behaves in a way that's consistent with who she's always been, it just tends to bother you a little bit less. You tend to get a little less reactive. Your nervous system tends to be a little bit calmer because you were realistic in your expectations.
You know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're never going to change. If I want you to accept me for me, then I guess I'm going to have to accept you for you. So I forgive you.
I didn't ask you to forgive
Too
me.
bad. I forgive you anyway. And I forgive myself for taking so long to do it. Oh my God, that feels so good.
So I always tell my clients, unrealistic expectations create disappointment, which eventually can lead to depression. So we want to be super realistic in our expectations of our mothers, and for that matter, really everyone we're in a relationship with. And now we come to this other piece, which is when you do all this work, that may be all that you have to do. Just starting to be realistic with what you expect of your relationship with that person. You're going to say to yourself, what is it that I can expect from a relationship with my mother? But for some of you, as you're going through this, there may be some events in your life, moments of trauma or super negative interactions that just bubble up in you. And there's too much intensity and too much emotion around it to be able to move past this in a way that there's ease. And if so, then I would say you're a good candidate for doing some deeper work on those issues. So whether you seek out EMDR, accelerated resolution therapy, somatic therapy, or my method, the MINT method, which is a combination of all that and sprinkling a little bit of internal family systems work on top of it. And that may go to the deeper level and start to give you the resolution that you need to be able to integrate, neutralize, and metabolize some of these really difficult moments in your life that you have lived through with your mother. So my hope is that you can take away from today this messaging that there are things that you can do when you've had a not really positive relationship with your mother, and that you don't have to stay in this constant state of triggering and sadness and disappointment, or feeling like you're not enough, that she didn't love you enough, that you weren't special enough. Because those limiting beliefs limit your behavior, limit your capacity for other relationships, and really just keep you stuck and keep you small, and don't allow you to fully show up in life the way that you were created to show up. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down in the comments below. If you think you might want to do some deeper work around this, you can always go to my website and fill out a contact form, and I'd love to chat with you and see if you're a good candidate for maybe resolving some of these negative moments in your life that have created this difficulty with your mother. Until next time.